What's up everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is finally my Thanksgiving tablescape. Now, Thanksgiving's tomorrow, so I did go with more of a tablescape that you can really do whether it's for a holiday or you're having some friends and family over, or if it's just for, you know, your immediate family. I wanted to make it a little bit more versatile and not just directed towards Thanksgiving. Without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, you guys, so I am going to walk you through what I am doing, how I'm setting up my table. So this is actually going to be our Thanksgiving table, but I wanted to make it a little bit more practical because I'm not sure when this video is going to go up. In case you are having like a Christmas dinner or just any sort of dinner where you can kind of dress up your table and kind of go that extra little mile to make it pretty. So I didn't want to be too specific to Thanksgiving only, and I wanted to make this table a little bit more versatile and practical for a lot of you. So I'm going to have a table setting of 8, and then in the middle I'm going to do a little charcuterie moment. All right, the first thing that we're going to do is set the table with the plates. I got these plates from Target. These are the Hearth and Hand, and I loved these ones because they were kind of more of that organic look, that ceramic, organic, not perfectly round. And I wanted our table to be casual, dressy. I definitely wanted it to have a little bit of that lived-in look, and I think that these really give that look. So what I do is I place my plates down, and I like to kind of bring them pretty close to the edge. The reason why I do this is because I want to be able to do a centerpiece. So bringing the plates a little bit closer to the edge is going to leave me room for the centerpiece. So when setting the table, I like to make sure that the table is symmetrical on both sides. And what I mean by that is that the plates are parallel to each other. They line up perfectly, and that the same amount of space that I have on the edge is the same amount on the other side. So I like to go like one and then go to the cross, and then, you know, that way I can keep it lined up perfectly. Also, going down the length of the table, I want to make sure that the plates are perfectly lined up. And because I'm going with that more lived in kind of overgrown look, I do want to keep things symmetrical. This is just gonna keep it clean and balance a lot of that kind of organic look that I'm going for. It's going to just pull the whole thing together. All right, so as I mentioned, you definitely wanna make sure that you have it all lined up. Again, this just kind of cleans up the look, especially if you're going with that more organic look with the rest of the table, and making sure that it not only is lined up lengthwise, but also across from each other. Next, I'm adding the flatware, and I picked up this champagne toned flatware from Target. Now, last year I really wanted this flatware, but it completely sold out. By the way, everything that I'm showing today I will have linked down below for you guys, but this sold out last year and I was super bummed about it. So when I saw that it was back in stock, not only could you get like the full set, but you can also buy them individually, which is what I did. I had to have them. I thought that they were beautiful for the holidays, and I thought that they really completed the whole look. So I'm just going to add the flatware. Now, when you're adding your flatware, you want to be sure that you line up the flatware with each other and make sure it's nice and straight, not only for these two pieces right next to each other, but also on the other side as well. Make sure that this is lined up to these pieces over here, all the way down the table. One thing that you can do is have something to measure if you really want to be strict about it. Have something to measure both your plates and your flatware so that it's completely symmetrical or completely uniform the whole way down the table. Same with right next to the plate. The fork and the knife is the same width all the way down. You want it to be completely equal all the way down. Now, a lot of you guys know that I am also a wedding photographer, and we do a lot of, like, I've done workshops and, you know, things in the past. So this is just different things that I've learned from, shooting and from doing photography, but I do think it really does elevate the space, and it's just really, really clean. It's those little details that people really aren't paying attention to. If something is out of place, you can definitely notice that straight away. If it's perfectly aligned, not a lot of people are going to notice that. However, if it isn't, that is when they notice. I do about an inch away from the end of the table and a ½ inch to an inch, depending on how much space I have. Next, I'm adding the napkins. I'm just using these Hearth and Hand napkins that I picked up from Target. Pretty much everything on this table is from Target, and I wanted to go again with that casual look. I definitely wanted to keep it, like I said, kind of lived in, casual, very inviting. So I decided to just tie these in a knot. This is a great way to save some money as well. I just tied my napkins in a knot, and I am just placing them straight down on the plate like so. Again, just to give it that little bit more of a casual look. If you want to keep it nice and uniform, I've already folded all of mine, but you can keep it in that nice crisp fold and just tuck it underneath the plate. I will insert a little overview of where you can see that, and it will just lay flat, and it's definitely a little bit more polished. Like I said, I'm going with a little bit more of a casual vibe, so I have just tied mine in a knot. Make sure you tuck your tags and hide your tags so that they are not sticking straight up when your guests go to sit down. You definitely want to keep those kind of tucked away and hidden. Next, I'm adding the drinkware. I went with these super modern glasses. Now, you guys know that I rave about the Williams Sonoma. These are a really good alternative, a little bit more affordable. But what I loved about these, because I was going with a little bit more of a lived-in organic look with the rest of the table, I thought about going a little bit more modern with the glassware just to keep it balanced and keep it up to date. That way it's not too overgrown or, you know, too much. So I definitely wanted to tone it down with the glassware. Okay, so this is all that I am doing for this year's table as far as the flatware, the glassware, the plates, the napkins. But I'm doing something super special for the centerpiece, so I am going to get right into that. All right, so I had to choose 2 different boards because I didn't have a lot of space to work with my tabletop. Ideally, I would have loved to have 2 of the same. I have this alabaster cheese board and then this wood cutting board. And my plan is to try to cover a lot of the surface so that it can just kind of like hold the food. One thing I like to do is to cut the cheese, put it a little bit over on this board and then a little bit over on that board so that there's a little bit of everything on each board for people at each end of the table. It's also super cute to kind of cut it up and display it like this. This is brie cheese, and I feel like brie is, a lot of people like brie, at least in my experience. So I always try to pick up a brie cheese along with other cheeses as well, but definitely a brie is always on my list. And I did wash the table, so I'm going to have my grapes kind of connecting the 2 boards, but I'm also going to just kind of spread them throughout. And then one thing that I always try to do, and I've mentioned this before, is to just kind of move things as I go. It doesn't have to be, you know, perfect from the moment you set it down. Move it as you go. Don't be afraid to style as you go and move things around. It's not always going to be perfect the first time. What I love about grapes is that they cover a lot of surface area, and when you're doing a charcuterie board, you kind of, you know, you want it to cover a lot of space. All right, so I added a little plate of honey just because I really like my brie with honey. So I'm adding that, and then I'm also adding 2 different kinds of crackers. I have these raisin rosemary, which I featured in my last charcuterie board, and these are so good. But I'm also adding these fig and olive crisps. I haven't tried these yet. And the last thing that I'm going to add is my ambiance. You guys know how much I love ambiance and scent. And I actually went with color, and this is so not like me. Completely fell in love with this color of these candles. It's like a mauve-y purple, and I thought it really did help pull in like the color of the grapes and the whole vibe. Want to make sure you go back and fix and tidy up your flatware before you have people sit down. I wanted to make sure I brought back a little bit of the elegance, so I got these little votive holders from CB2. They were super affordable. I think they were about like $4 a piece, and I just got these from Target. All right, you guys, and here is the final look. I wanted it dressy, but still casual, and casual with the details, like the edges of the plates being a little bit more organic and not perfectly even. And, you know, having the charcuterie a little bit more overgrown, I think definitely gave it a little bit more of a casual look, and also keeping it a little bit more where you can use this for any type of, you know, hosting, dinner hosting that you're doing. It doesn't have to just be Thanksgiving. This is kind of what I came up with. Like I said, I went with the linen, like more organic look for the napkins, the champagne forks. Remember again to make sure you tidy everything up at the very end before you have people sitting down, making sure it's perfect. And this is it. Let me know down in the comments what was your favorite part of the whole look. You guys, and that is my tablescape that I'm using for Thanksgiving this year. Like I said, this table can be used not only for Thanksgiving, but really any other dinner party, holiday, event that you're having. I thought that having the charcuterie board in the center was such a special little touch. So let me know down in the comments if you recreate this look. I will see you guys in a couple days with another. Bye guys.